I'm going to let you take that one.
You'd have to ask my mom. You probably had similar careers.
Yeah, I was saying that. I don't know if there's the same kind of career, almost same kind of career.
We had similar careers, yeah.
Not very
exciting
careers.
I will be honest.
Not very exciting careers.
I'll be honest. There's a couple things that came up already that we had to get squared away right off the get-go. He started, somehow the term Gatorade got brought up, and I said we're actually Powerade here. And then we talked about the game that we have in Jacksonville, and he did refer to it as the Florida-Georgia game, and I said that's rule number 2. It's the Georgia-Florida game.
That almost did me in, truth be known. That almost did me in, so I've been watching it real close from that point on.
Just kidding, but it's obviously we think it's a very good fit. We're excited.
It seems pretty evident. You talked about the Vanderbilt head coaching job. You had some NFL head coaching interviews as well. I mean, I guess ultimately that remains your objective, your goal, career objective, to become a head coach.
Well, again, obviously I'd love to become a head coach at some point, but again, I've also realized that the most important thing for me now is to be in a good spot, a place I believe in, a person I believe in. In this case, I'm thrilled about college football. I see it as a new journey, new start, new journey. Really excited about it, and I see myself in this game for a long time.
Brian, you referenced the staff you're going to be joining. This might be for market. Are y'all pretty sure the other 3 are going to stay the same offensive staff-wise in terms of positions and the coaches?
Right at this moment, that's where everybody is. Yeah. I don't see anything. I mean, you never know what what tomorrow will bring for anybody. But right now we're solid.
And what would you be looking for that last spot in the development that you do have on the staff?
Well, the offensive line coach, obviously, we got to make that hire, and again, we got to, talking with Coach Schottenheimer, it reminded me of when I first became coordinator at Florida State, and I think every coordinator who's a quarterbacks guy wants to make sure he's got the right offensive line coach with him, and knowing how important that hire is for not only the coordinator but the team in general. And so we're just trying to do a good job of finding the right fit, and we've got really, quite frankly, a wide range of candidates as far as college. Some college guys, some guys that have a little more pro experience. Some guys have a little bit of college, a little bit of pro experience. But I think one of the biggest things that we're agreeing on is that this guy must be a great fundamental coach, a really good teacher of the run game, a really good teacher of the pass game, a guy that, because we think schematically we can get done what we need to get done. We just got to make sure that whoever's that line coach is going to be able to get our boys to execute. Just like we talked in the bowl game, when we were talking about Coach Lee calling plays and all that. We know the plays. It's just a matter of, is it a good play because of the call, or is it a good play because of how well we executed? And that's the thing. We got to make sure we can execute, and that'll be a big part of the process in bringing in a line coach.
Brian, the friends you have in the coaching profession and then members of your family, what do they think of your move from the pros to Georgia?
They're excited for me. They really are. I think, again, they see that, my heart's really here at Georgia. Obviously, there's a lot of guys I trust and respect. I mean, I've gotten so many calls truly saying what a great place Athens is. Obviously, many calls talking about Coach Rick, his personality. Again, I think that's important in this profession, that you not only believe in the people you work with, but that you respect them. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for him, the program, the way that it's carried itself. But everybody that I've talked to, truly the people that I care about, I think it's a great move for me and my family. My family's thrilled. My wife's actually here probably spending money right now looking at houses and things like that. And we're all in, excited, and ready to go.
A couple inevitable dad questions. What was his reaction specifically to this?
I think, again, he trusts my instincts. He just loves the profession of coaching. I think he's really excited that I'm going to, again, another great place. I think he's always seen himself as a teacher, so I do as well. And I think, again, starting to train 17, 18-year-old young men, student athletes, is an exciting challenge for me that he's really excited for me, very fired up.
Was it inevitable that you would become a coach? I mean, with the way that you grew up, or was there anything else that you ever wanted to do, Alex?
Man, I really wanted to be a golfer, and then I started playing. I started playing football. My hands started getting beaten on, and I couldn't really play quite as well. But you know, truly around the age of 18 or 19, actually that's why I transferred from KU to Florida. Is I wanted to go down there and kind of learn the pro style offense from Coach Spurrier. And from that point on, never looked back. And you know, Coach Rick and I laughed quite a bit just about, you know, that process of going through it and figuring out what you want to do. And some people always ask my dad, they did, you ever try to talk Brian out of getting into coaching? He said, I thought about it, but the fact that he wanted to do it means that I made it fun for him. I made it, you know, that it was a great profession and something that he wanted to follow my footsteps. So very proud of my father, obviously, but also excited about kind of, you know, carving my own path.
Can you give us an idea, Brian, kind of on the timeline, like, it sounded like everything happened kind of quick from when the interview to being here?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, after, you know, I saw that the job was open and it became a possibility that there was mutual interest, came and got a chance to visit with Coach and the staff, and again, it just, you know, when you sit down and you do these interviews, a lot of times it's just, sometimes it seems like a natural fit, and I was hoping I'd get a call from Coach and that it would be something that he felt as good about the interview and the connection between obviously not just the two of us but the staff, and was very pleased when he did call.
Mark, were you looking for, humility is the right word, but the idea that, you know, you weren't gonna get someone that was gonna come in and try and reinvent the wheel, like you said, and try and to keep the continuity as much as you want?
It was important that we found somebody like-minded. But, you know, if Coach felt real strong about, you know, using every single bit of his terminology, just as long as it translated to what we know, you know, that's one way to go. But, you know, he felt like it might be wise for him to learn a lot of our terms that are, they mean the same thing that he did in the league, but it's more familiar with our guys. He felt like it'd probably be wiser for one guy to learn it rather than, you know, 60 people to learn it. And, you know, and again, we're talking about doing the same blocking scheme, and one guy calls it an ace, and one guy calls it a slip. You know what I'm saying, or whatever it is. So some of those types of things. But you know, it's just like every off season, we would go and visit a guy like Coach Schottenheimer in the off season and say, how can we grow this system? What do you do in the red zone that might be good? Or, you know, so we're always as a staff trying to grow. And so now we've got a guy like him in the house who's going to be there with all the things and all his experiences. So there's going to be there'll be some new route concepts. There'll be some new probably ways of running the ball. There'll probably be, we may change, you know, how we do a 2-minute drill or a 4-minute drill, or whatever it is, just, you know, using the you know, vast experiences that he's had. And, you know, so, but again, the core beliefs and the core system are so similar that was, again, one of the main attractions other than his success and his ability to communicate and his ability to, you know, he, quite frankly, won over everybody on our staff throughout the interview process. It took about 4 to 5 hours, and he was outstanding.
Was that Monday?
It was actually Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday. So all your assistant coaches or just offensive coaches?
No, the whole staff was there.
Brian, first question, has it been, I guess, 10 years since you had the capture scare, correct?
Yes, because my son's 10, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that is bound to affect how you approach your job and your life afterwards. How did that affect you long term?
Other than it scared me in the beginning, my wife was pregnant at the time with our son. You know, it kind of caused you to take pause a little bit, but truly, other than taking 2 pills a day to replace my thyroid that's no longer there, it really hasn't changed me at all. You know, again, I think I have a strong faith. That's probably again, I'm aware of it. My wife actually reminds me of it more than anybody else if I go out and have a big meal and throw a little too much on some food or something. But again, obviously very healthy now and blessed that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Mark, how important it also is it to have a coach who can go into a home now and say, hey, I've coached all these NFL quarterbacks?
Well, there's no doubt, great teacher of quarterback play, and that was, you know, I asked a couple just very fundamental quarterback fundamental questions, just to kind of hear how he communicates, how he would communicate that to a young quarterback. You know, you get the impression, once you get a guy who's NFL caliber, you're not teaching him how to take a snap from center necessarily. You might say, well, this guy knows what he's doing in certain areas, but that's one of the first points he made. He said, we start from ground zero every camp on every fundamental that you know, that is important to quarterback play. And we talked a little bit about, you know, how do you teach just the form throw, the fundamental of throwing from point A to point B. I just wanted to hear how he would articulate that, and just very precise in how he would determine it, very simple, where guys can understand it. And, you know, so I think that, you know, I really enjoy the fact that he has coached some great ones. I think it's exciting to our guys currently, and I think it's exciting to, you know, quarterbacks in the future that are looking at Georgia. But not only that, I think when you're the coordinator, not just the quarterbacks coach, you coach this receiver, this tight end, that running back, these offensive linemen over the years, and competed against guys that our players and our recruits idolize or they look up to. You know, so to have that experience and for them to know this guy, I mean, because I think a lot of players, you know, most all players aspire to be in the NFL, and they want to hopefully be developed to get there. Well, now they know in Brian that he's been there, he knows what it takes, and he knows what it takes to, once you get there, to stick there. So all that's a real positive thing for recruiting, no doubt.
Brian, can you talk about your time with the Rams? Was it all